Well, it was
Two
probably
goals in quick succession for Dortmund. At the end of the first half, Haaland.
Two men, one stage, and the entire world holding its breath. This is not just a football match. This is a moment that generations of fans will tell their grandchildren about. On June 26, 2026, at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, two of the most lethal human beings ever to lace up football boots will finally share the same World Cup pitch for the very first time in history. Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, France versus Norway. And if you think this is just another group stage game, you are dangerously, catastrophically wrong. Let's be absolutely clear about what is at stake here. Both France and Norway have already qualified for the knockout rounds, but this is no dead rubber. This is everything. The winner of Group I gets the easier bracket, a potential path through Sweden, Germany, Morocco, or the Netherlands before a semi-final against Spain. The runner-up? They get Brazil in the round of 16. They potentially get England in the quarterfinals. They potentially get Argentina in the semifinals. In other words, finishing second here could mean meeting Messi before the final. So yes, group winners matters. And the man who carries his nation to the top of this group will have staked a serious claim as the greatest player on this planet right now. Now let us talk about the two men at the center of all of this. Kylian Mbappe, 27 years old, the captain of France. The most dangerous footballer on earth when he is running at full speed, which is approximately 36 kilometers per hour, faster than most cars on a school zone road. This World Cup, Mbappe has been nothing short of terrifying. 4 goals in 2 games. He scored a brace against Senegal in France's opener. He scored a brace against Iraq in Game 2. And when he buried that second goal against Iraq, a thunderous right-footed strike from 30 yards out into the left corner of the net, he became the all-time leading scorer in the history of the French national team, with 58 international goals. At 27, 58 goals. Think about that. Zidane never got there. Henry never got there. Nobody in French football history ever got there. And Mbappe just blew past all of them like they were standing still. But here is what makes Mbappe truly frightening. It is not just the goals, it is the timing. The man is a tournament animal. Every major stage he has ever walked onto, he has dominated. He won the World Cup at 19 years old. He has been in the top 3 for the Ballon d'Or multiple times. And right now, in the summer of 2026, in the prime of his career, he looks absolutely ravenous. Before France played Iraq, a reporter asked him about Haaland, about this game, about the clash that every football fan on the planet was already circling on their calendar. And Mbappe said, "I'm not thinking about Haaland at the moment. I'm focused on Iraq. Cool, calm, ice cold." The kind of thing you say when you know exactly how good you are and you have absolutely nothing to prove to anyone. That's the mentality of a man who intends to show up on June 26th and put on a show. Now let us talk about the Viking, Erling Haaland, 25 years old. 6 feet 4 inches of pure, relentless, unstoppable forward energy. The man is not a footballer. He is a force of nature, wrapped in a Norwegian flag. At club level with Manchester City last season, he scored 38 goals in all competitions. Just slightly behind Mbappe's 42 for Real Madrid. The two of them are the most prolific strikers on earth right now. And at this World Cup, Haaland has been an absolute nightmare for every defender he has faced. 4 goals in 2 games, same as Mbappe. He scored in Norway's 4-1 demolition of Iraq. He scored twice, twice in Norway's incredible 3-2 comeback victory over Senegal. That second Senegal goal in particular was the kind of finish that makes goalkeepers lose sleep. Odegaard surged forward, threaded a pass through the defensive line, and Haaland buried it emphatically. No hesitation, pure predator instinct. His international record is simply absurd. 59 goals in just 52 games for Norway. That is 1 goal every single game, plus a bonus. That is a ratio that makes even the greatest strikers in history look ordinary. And now, here is something that will make your jaw drop. These two men, Mbappe and Haaland, have faced each other 4 times at club level, in PSG versus Dortmund, in Real Madrid versus Manchester City. 4 meetings at the highest level of club football in Europe. And in all 4 of those matches, Mbappe's team won 3 times, Haaland's team won once. But, and this is crucial, those were club battles. Different teammates, different defensive structures, different contexts entirely. This is the World Cup. This is the international stage. This will be the very first time in their careers they have ever faced each other, wearing their national colors. This has never happened before. In the entire history of international football, with these two playing since their late teens, they have never ever been on opposite sides of a World Cup match until right now. June 26th is that day. The first time, the only time that matters. Let's break down the actual tactical battle, because this is where it gets really interesting. France manager Didier Deschamps has built one of the most defensively solid teams in this tournament. William Saliba and Dayot Upamecano at center back, 2 of the best defenders in European football. Both Premier League tested, both Champions League experienced. Saliba is dominant in the air and almost impossible to run in behind. Upamecano is powerful, aggressive, and quick to recover. These two have kept 2 clean sheets already in this tournament. They have not allowed a single goal in 600 minutes of World Cup football. Not one. Between them, they are going to be tasked with stopping Erling Haaland, 6'4", 59 international goals, running off the shoulder of the last defender at top speed. Good luck. And Norway's challenge mirrors that difficulty on the other side. France are going to point Mbappe at Norway's defensive unit, and the reality is that Norway's system, their 4-3-3, with aggressive wingbacks pressing high, leaves space in behind when they push forward. Mbappe lives in that space. That is his hunting ground. Every time Norway's fullbacks go forward, there will be a corridor behind them, and Mbappe is the single most dangerous player on earth in that situation. Norway manager Ståle Solbakken knows this. He watched France ruthlessly exploit that space against Iraq and Senegal. His defenders, Julian Ryerson on the right, David Wolf on the left, are athletic and energetic, but neither of them has ever had to deal with something quite like Kylian Mbappe at a World Cup at peak confidence. Then there is Martin Ødegaard, the Norwegian captain, the Arsenal midfielder who pulls the strings for this entire team. Odegaard has been magnificent in this tournament, composed, technically brilliant, finding passes that simply should not exist. He is the conductor of this Norwegian orchestra. Without him functioning at his best, Norway are significantly diminished. France's midfield, Chouameni, Rabiot, Kanté, will be on him. They will crowd him, pressure him, and try to cut the supply line between Odegaard and Haaland. If they succeed in doing that, Norway struggle. If Odegaard finds space and time, Norway can genuinely hurt France. Now, here is something that almost nobody is talking about loudly enough. Haaland said something extraordinary before this match. A reporter asked him about facing France. And Haaland, openly, casually, almost with a grin, said, "Honestly, I don't have any particular concerns about playing France. They'll probably beat us and go on to win the tournament." Now, on the surface, you read that and you think, is this man giving up before the game even starts? But look deeper. Look at who Erling Haaland actually is. This is a man who uses that kind of statement as fuel. He said something similar before big Champions League nights, and then he went out and scored hat tricks. This is a man who performs best when the pressure is supposedly off him, when everyone has already written off his team, when he has nothing to lose and everything to gain. If France's defense reads that quote and allows even a fraction of complacency to creep in, Haaland will punish them. He will punish them viciously. And there is one more thing, one more layer to this story that needs to be said clearly. Both of these men are chasing the Golden Boot, the tournament's top scorer prize. Right now, Lionel Messi leads with 5 goals. Yes, even at 39 years old, the greatest of all time is still threatening to rewrite history at one more World Cup. But Mbappe and Haaland are both on 4. 1 goal behind Messi, 1 big game away from potentially overtaking the legend. Think about what that means for Friday. Every time a set piece falls, every time a counterattack develops, every time a through ball splits the defensive line, both of these men will be hunting, not just for their teams, not just for group supremacy, but for the Golden Boot. For the chance to say, at this World Cup, I was better than Messi, the greatest prize in football, on the greatest stage in sports. So here is the bottom line. France are the favorites. Their squad depth is greater. Their defensive record is immaculate. Their experience of winning World Cups, 2 titles, 1998 and 2018, gives them a composure and a belief that Norway simply cannot match. But Norway have Haaland, and as long as Haaland is on that pitch, Norway have a chance. One moment, one cross, one slip from Saliba or Upamecano, one perfect Odegaard pass, and suddenly the impossible becomes reality. Norway have already done it once in this tournament. They came from behind to beat Senegal when most people wrote them off. They can do it again. June 26th, Gillette Stadium, Foxborough. Mbappe against Haaland. France against Norway. World Cup football at its absolute finest. This is the game you cannot miss. This is the moment you do not look away from. Because whatever happens on that pitch, whether Mbappe announces himself as the undisputed best player alive, or whether Haaland silences every single doubt about Norway in the most dramatic fashion imaginable, you will be watching history being made. Football history, human history, the kind of night that stays with you forever. Don't you dare blink.